Remember in the Wolverine movies, when Hugh Jackman takes about 30 bullets to the chest, then goes on to just heal the wounds right back to how he was before while barely flinching? Of course, it's fiction. But what if something like this was possible in real life? What if we could easily just remake entire organs, heal what we would usually think of as fatal wounds, save lives by fixing damaged parts of our bodies? It isn't fiction anymore. Humans continue to advance, and medicine is advancing along with us.
The first ever recorded visual reference of tissue engineering was in Fra Angelic's Healing of Justinian, which showed a soldier being fitted with a prosthetic leg. This was considered to be, in loose terms, tissue engineering because of the use of regenerating cells to graft the leg to the body. However, this procedure was not the same as what we consider tissue engineering to be today. In the later 1980s, there was a meeting held under the name of tissue engineering, but this was once again different from the tissue engineering that we see today. The first ever use of the words in the way that we think of them today was in 1991 in a document titled Functional Organ Replacement, the New Technology of Tissue Engineering, within a publication of the Technology International.
So, what is TE? How do scientists and doctors use it today? Although we don't tend to hear about the term tissue engineering too often, it has become a quite commonly used technology since the late 80s when it was first introduced. It is used in mainstream medical care for things as common as skin repairs and neuroscience. It has also been used in more abstract ways like generating cloned animal meat. The way that TE works is that a structure of animal tissue cells can be created without ever being inside of an animal, by making a type of scaffolding or rather template that cells will grow from. These cells are not actually created by the main animal, but rather from cells that have been removed from it. This means that we can grow meats from seemingly dead pieces of an animal's flesh. This also means that we can heal wounds with accelerated cell growth, as well as perhaps making entirely new organs in the future.
There are in fact some risks to using TE in medical ways. The first of which is that because tissue engineering is still being developed and we cannot have complete control over it, there are risks that cells can misgenerate into cancerous cells. This has made many skeptical of the safety of the technology. However, there have been many more successful uses than unsuccessful, to the point that it would be no more of a risk to use than many other technologies.
Many people have been questioning the ethicality of TE for many reasons. Main issues about this subject are the testing and experimentations of this procedure. Scientists have been using animals to experiment. As mentioned earlier, tissue engineering is not always successful. There have been cases where cells created have been cancerous, meaning that they are sick but also unable to self-destroy. Other tests have been considered to be inconsiderate to the animals being used, like in one case where a human ear was grafted to a rat's back using TE.
In our opinion, we think that TE has great potential in revolutionizing the medical world. We don't agree with some of the ways that it has been used up until this point, and think that we still have a lot to learn, but we think that anyone can see that this type of biotechnology can, and most likely will, have a massive impact on surgery, organ transplanting, and many other types of medical procedures.